Attention crew, it's time to make it so. Reporting for duty are your fearless co-hosts, Crewman PVG, bringing the logic, Crewman Mgyx, keeping it bold, and Crewman Tommy, ready with the photon torpedo of hot takes. From classic episodes to new frontiers, Klingon phrases to Starfleet trivia, no quadrant is off limits. So grab your tricorder, set your phasers to fun, and prepare for another warp speed ride through the final frontier. This is Technically Trek.
Laying a course, maximum warp.
Aye, Captain.
Engage.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all other species. Welcome to the pod. I'm Crewman Tommy, and this is the Technically Trek podcast. I'm joined by my crewmates, Crewman PVG.
Aloha. And we are the only Star Trek podcast where the warp core is unstable, and so are we. Go ahead. Top that one, baby.
We got Crewman Mgyx in Sacktown.
I'm going to keep it short and simple as it should be. I put the N in fun. See? You could have said you put the foo in fun. Because you are
the podcast. Yeah. The warp core is unstable, and so are we.
Okay.
No. Way too long. Got to keep it short.
We're live, by the way. It's Sunday night, I think November 2nd, and we all just flipped our clocks, and my body was not ready for the flipping of the clock.
I did not flip anything.
Oh. I mean, it's an hour, what is it, later?
Yeah.
So really, it's 9:04, but because of daylight savings, it's 8:04. I guess we got rid of the savings.
See, here's the weird thing. This is why they need to get rid of it.
They do.
How many clocks did you actually have to change today?
Microwave, stove, a little digital clock that's under the TV in the living room, a hanging clock. And I didn't even go downstairs to change those clocks yet. I got another hanging clock. I got a digital in my office.
I'm gonna give you an update. One, they make Amazon connected hanging digital clocks, like with the hands. Get those to replace, because I haven't. The only clocks that I do need to change is the microwave and the oven. And my mom's got like 100 regular clocks, but I'm not changing any of those. I never have. I don't put batteries in them. None of my actual personal devices that I use, I didn't have to change anything because it's all digital. I didn't have to change my cell phone. Didn't have to change my laptop. Didn't have to change my Echo. Didn't have to change my Xbox. Get rid of daylight savings time. It is pointless.
Yeah.
We don't need it anymore.
Greetings to Mr. Sci-Fi Fan 2, a.k.a. Trekbot. We know who you are.
Man in a chair.
Because he's not Sci-Fi Fan 1, he's an imposter.
Why aren't
He's
you
a
Sci-Fi
clone
Fan
from
1?
the Remus, from Planet Remus. I was going to do some additional research last night.
Oh, and hello to Karen.
This morning. Yes, I was going to say shout out to Carrie, to Crewman K in the chat there.
K-Mac.
I was going to say K Dizzle, but no.
It's K-Mac.
Adding the Dizzle to people's name is so 90s now. I need to upgrade. Anyway,
yeah.
I was going to do some research. I tried to do some research last night by watching The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Oh, okay.
I had some questions, even with this podcast. In Khan, and in the movie, he says he blames Kirk for the death of his wife, which is a really, really long stretch. Yeah. If you're saying because you're on this planet, you're blaming Kirk. Okay, you put yourself on the planet. Kirk had absolutely nothing with your wife taking a skinny dip in a hot tub of leeches and whatnot, like it's Stand By Me, and got some shit crawling in her ear. On top of that, yes, I'm giving spoilers. On top of that, realizing that based on the last episode of Con, the podcast or audiobook, Kirk didn't destroy the planet, and we all know this now. We know he did not know. It was an alien species that destroyed the planet.
Del Mondo just admitted to it, and Chief Scott is saying that a PVG looks like he's on GLP-1.
Wow. No.
So how is it that and mind you, this is all prior. This takes place before Khan gets off the planet and the Wrath of Khan takes place. So then why does Khan, even though he now knows the Albarians, or who are they? What are the species?
Alborians.
Alborians are the reason why his planet is destroyed. Why does he still blame Kirk?
Well, let's get into a little bit of a summary of Khan episode 8, which I think took a turn for the positive because it was getting a little drab. And I think
this one was tough. For me, it was a toughie.
I mean, it's still, I mean, it's not, I want it to be more, I think is what it is.
I think it's because we already know what's going to happen. And we know this is not Strange New Worlds where we're hearing untold stories of shit that happened.
Yeah,
like,
so Karen's right. Kirk, Khan is mad at Kirk because Kirk never came back to check up on them. And I remember him making that comment on the episode 8.
I remember that, yeah.
You know, he said Kirk just left us here and didn't bother checking in on us.
I mean, what was Kirk doing between the abandonment of Khan and the Wrath of Khan?
Well, no, between Space Seed and the Wrath of Khan. It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
the
5
Khan
years.
podcast. See, and IB's right. The writing. This is where all the writers had to do was two things: watch Space Seed and watch the Wrath of Khan.
Because now it doesn't make sense. Because in
That's
the movie,
all they had to do. And then
he mentioned it's been 15 years. He mentioned in the Wrath of Khan, it was 15 years.
You could have told AI, here's the script for Space Seed, here's the script for Wrath of Khan. Write me a script to extrapolate what happened in between that time for Khan. Hey, what just happened?
What do you mean?
Our monitor went dead. Okay, it's back now. That was weird. It's almost like it went to sleep. Maybe I got to move the mouse or something. It's unusual, but I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, Kirk was busy with a lot of things, but it seems like...
Well, the only thing I could think of is what Karen mentioned was saving Spock. But saving Spock happened after the Wrath of Khan, not between Space Seed and the Khan podcast.
Well, don't they save him in... wait, what happens in Star Trek, the motion picture?
Everybody fell asleep.
I don't know. I like
V'ger?
Yeah.
They were busy with V'ger.
No, I'm being serious. Nothing happened with Khan, but and with the whole V'ger thing. I mean, V'ger left.
How much real time was that? And I still think that in the final episode, we're going to learn a lot more. Because Ivan's back, and I think
5 years. So
but it's more than 5 years.
It's a time jump from the last episode to this current.
Oh, right. It's a 5-year time jump.
Gap. So Ivan's been out there doing the Rocky, montage for the last 5 years as Ivan Drago. And so that's a 5-year gap because the girl is now grown up.
Well, she's 5 years old, but she's talking like she's a freshman in college.
Right. Well, because she's augmented. So, man, I should have made those egg rolls before the podcast, so I have something to snack on. Sorry. I made wontons last night for the first time, so I was like, oh, nice. But now I'm craving that more. Wontons take a long time to make. And I mentioned this because this is when I actually was listening to the con episode. So, and there were some points where I had to jump back like 20 minutes because I was like, wait, something's not making sense here. So, but then I realized that's when I came up with I need to go watch Wrath of Khan because something happened in the show, in the audio drama, that made no sense. And I remember it distinctly. It was mainly the death of Marla. You killed my wife. All that shit. And then I was hoping to find out if in the Wrath of Khan there was any mention of Marla, which just a mention of, oh, she was there at Space Age, she left with him. There was nothing else that I remember because I did fall asleep during it. But yeah, there's a gap in what the hell happened between these two, and it's kind of bugging me.
Well, what is it, like 20 years?
Well,
between Space Seed and Wrath of Khan, what is that, like 20 years?
Assuming the whole trial and everything took 1.5 to 2 years, we're looking at about 20 years.
Okay.
Give 15 to 20 years. Because they did mention that in the Wrath of Khan, it's been 15 years.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Chekhov mentioned it. And there was the whole, I don't know you, but I know you. I never forget the face. Ensign Chekhov, is it? And it's like, motherfucker, Chekhov wasn't even on the ship.
He was lower decks.
I was like, was he kicking it with the lower decks? I was hoping they would mention some reference to that. That was the other reason why I wanted to watch, but they never said anything about it. So it was kind of a.
So Karen's theory is Delmonda takes, what's the kid's name? Callie or something like that?
Yeah.
And Callie is Lear. Okay, that's a theory. Who's got theories?
Wait, what do you mean she's Lear?
Callie is Lear.
Lear is the girl that's on Sulu's ship doing the investigation. And that, like, the theory is that's why she's investigating.
Yeah. I think that too. I have a feeling that she's the one doing the investigation.
Interesting.
And so she was trying to prove that Kirk was responsible so she could go get some revenge or something and bring him down.
Get some money. Get something.
Some latinum. But I don't know the time difference between how old would she be on Sulu's ship compared to the Wrath of Khan. Like, how much later did the events of Wrath of Khan happen between now this podcast? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know, but I think you have to go back and listen to the beginnings because I think they mentioned something about that. I think Sulu mentioned it. Like, it's been X amount, 2 decades or whatever.
Yeah.
Since he last even thought of Connor or he'd been dropped off.
Oh, 3 months after Kirk's death, which death are they talking about? The death of
Generations?
Are they talking about the death on the Enterprise B?
Right,
or
when
he
gets sucked into the Nexus. Right, because he first gets sucked into the Nexus, then like 30 years later, 70 years later.
No, it can't be. It can't be on the Nexus because Sulu's dead in Enterprise. Enterprise and Picard is like 78 years after Kirk.
Yeah.
The only ones that are still alive was Bones, who was over 100, and then Spock, who's a Vulcan, and they just live long.
You need a cough drop?
Not yet.
Okay.
So why aren't you just drinking a hot toddy, which is tea and honey?
Nope.
You're not drinking basically what you have with harder alcohol and extra honey?
We had, what did we have earlier?
Moonshine.
Moonshine.
That's not a hot toddy.
Big chai is good enough.
It's not the same, but whatever.
Oh, so, shout out to Crewman Sherry, who is watching us from Nicaragua or something.
Oh, Salvador? Are you?
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
But she says she can only watch us on the TV, so she can't comment.
Is she on a secret mission or something?
Some kind of
Covert?
church mission, I think.
Oh,
Trying to convert the El Salvadorians. She wishes she could comment and correct what I'm saying because it's all made up. But yeah, shout out to Crewman Sherry who is watching us from some international place. We appreciate your patronage.
Patronage.
Yeah, so I guess that final episode, and I'm not sure, I can't imagine too much more going on. I mean, now that they're about to, the ship's got to leave. But yeah, obviously, Khan doesn't leave. So Ivan must have some impact.
that's what I'm thinking.
So I think Ivan tries to kill Khan and take over and become the ruler of the augments. And that leaves the door open for Del Monde to take the kid and leave town. So I think they escape on the Venture, and Khan is now stuck. But you would think he would have more bitterness towards Del Monde, who I think is still alive, because Lear, Lieutenant Lear, I think her grade and title, says something about she got the tapes from Del Monde, but that could have just been her story.
She's
she
not
could have
in
just been
Starfleet.
Oh, what is she, like a
She's just a
She's an
researcher.
Okay.
So here's the thing. This is also where it is. So the audio book, the audio drama is, I don't know if it's paying homage or just lazy writing to the whole you are and always have been my friend and YouTube, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I heard that line.
Because that line was dropped, and then I watched Wrath of Khan, and then Wrath of Khan drops it not from Kirk, but from Khan to somebody else, I believe. But I think they're dropping the whole because Carol Marcus is a researcher as well. I think that's where they got the laziness of, well, if she's not in Starfleet, she can do whatever she wants because she doesn't have to. She literally says in the Lear says in the audiobook, I hope he realizes that I'm not in Starfleet. I don't have to listen to his orders. He's, when he summoned her to his room or whatever.
Right. She made a big deal out of being summoned.
Right. And then so in the movie, Carol Marcus does the same thing as well. The flag red. Anyway, so I think we're in the home stretch and they're just trying to tie things up.
Did you listen to it?
I did.
Oh, good.
There was something else that they dropped in there as well. Actually, no, this is back to the movie. I had questions on it. Why did Scotty bring the almost dead cadet that was in engineering up to the bridge?
That was his nephew, wasn't it?
No. It was just a kid. Even if it was his nephew, why would you bring it? The kid, he's almost dying.
I know, I agree.
Why would you bring it to the bridge and not just go straight to, medical? What was the whole purpose of that? And I'm wondering if there was like a deleted scene or something that was supposed to take place, but that made no sense. Well, I realized it. That was probably the last scene I remember seeing.
Karen says that the music from that movie is it like Toy Story, like the dramatic scenes.
Karen also says it was going to be written as his nephew, but did get deleted. Even if it was his nephew, Karen, that's a dumbass move to do. Take the kid to medical where he can, I don't know, be saved. Just a thought.
What do we think about... see, now, I think Khan was acting more like himself in this episode, though, because, how we did that plan change where he's just like, oh, by the way, I'm going to lead the mission, and Del Monde, you're going to stay and watch over everybody.
The old double cross.
because you can't be away from your people. And by the way, I'm going to take my daughter. And we're never
Yeah,
coming
and
back.
he even lied to all of his own people, saying, "Oh, you're gonna, I need you. You made the ship," and told everybody all the way up until the night before, "You're coming with me," and then, nope, psych, I'm out. He moved like a Dave Chappelle. Fuck your couch. Oh, my bad. Rack your couch.
Man, there went our.
There went the clean record.
No, what I was thinking is that again though, they try to make Khan sound like this big softy.
I think he is towards his daughter.
I just think he's too, because in some scenes he's not soft, right? Like the whole Del Monde was going to come tell me a story, and he's like, "No, you need to lay down and close your eyes right now. Del Monte's not coming to tell you a story, and we got big things going on tomorrow, so lay down and close your eyes."
Big things.
Big things. So I don't know. I just feel like they're trying really hard to paint this picture that he's a good dude.
I think he's trying to be. I think he's on. I honestly think. All right, let me back up. I hope he is. That's ideally what I hope he's trying to be that. And and I think in a weird way, if he is trying to do it, we already know he's going to fail. Everybody wants to see a failure. And I think that's what made that story, that makes kind of the podcast so cool, is you're like, "Oh, we've never seen this side of Khan before. That'd be interesting to see that." But we know he's going to fail because we know he's going to go off and steal the ship and try and kill Kirk. Because he does the exact same thing. And thank you for bringing this. He does the exact same thing in Wrath of Khan. He gets the Reliant. No one is out there to get him anymore. They got what they needed, a ship. They could have left. They could have jacked the Reliant and just left. And his crewman...
But he had to get revenge.
His crewman was like, "Yo, we got everything we need." And he's like, "Oh, he tests me. He tests me with this." I was going to look up what Shakespeare that is from, but he does the, "Oh no, but I got to have more." That's what kind of shows that's kind of like the character growth of in this podcast. He's not that crazy and enraged with revenge yet. But you add another 15 years to being stuck on a planet, I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to end up. That's how he became. Because I think Del Monde is going to double cross him, or his daughter. Actually, I think one of the two wives that were there is gonna give Lear or give Callie to Del Monde and then keep all the augments on the planet, and she's gonna die in the process. Give her life, and then Del Monde is gonna take off with Callie, and they're gonna leave the planet. But part of that is because one of the wives, I don't remember their names, has already packed up all of Marla's tapes and put them in the ship because that's where she's calling. And that's where at the end, Ivan comes in. He's like, "Oh, he has me putting in all of Kelly's stuff. I got her special bag with the tapes in here." And then Ivan shows up. It would be dope to find out if Ivan, Del Monde, I don't think Ivan's going to do it because Ivan already tried to kill one or already killed one of the other ones. I think that's, in the end, I think Del Monde and Callie are going to take off.
Yeah.
And they're going to leave. And then all the other augments are going to be on the ground. I think Khan is going to get stabbed up or disabled where he can't make it to the shuttle after he gets in a fight with Ivan. I think the two wives, or one of the two wives, dies trying to fight off Ivan. And then Khan's like, "No, why did you do that? They were, our brood mares that were successful kind of the first time. And we had a chance with them. Oh, I got to kill you now." And then one of them's got to be like, "No," in her dying breath, and hold Khan away from getting into the ship.
See, I think because Khan, the Wrath of Khan is already out and it's well established. So I think the only thing that the podcast can do at this point, because if Del Monde and the daughter escape the planet and Khan knows they escaped the planet, then that makes the Wrath of Khan movie not make any sense. Because if for it to make sense, the first thing Khan would do when he left that planet would be to try to find his daughter. So I think what's going to happen in the final episode is Del Monde and Callie are going to possibly be in some kind of an explosion
where Khan thinks they're dead.
Yes. They actually make it. They survive and they leave the planet.
No. He's thought to think that they're an explosion. Mental. They got the mental capability.
Yeah.
He throws a hallucination and he thinks that the ship is destroyed with Callie, so he doesn't go searching. And that will, I think, based on how he is with her now, to know that his wife died and his daughter died, but then why didn't he ever mention his daughter in the Wrath of Khan?
Right.
That's a weird thing. But to have his daughter die, that would make him go crazy and seek all kinds of revenge, knowing that in the initial phase of him getting on that planet, Kirk technically is the one that set everything in motion.
Yep.
Thank you, crewman Karen.
Karen.
She corrected me. He tasked me as from Melville, not Shakespeare. It's also Mr. Sci-Fi Guy or Sci-Fi Fan number 2. IB Bot. States in a deleted scene from the Wrath of Khan, Captain Terrell and Commander Chekhov.
IB's got
in the wreck
6 nicknames now.
Of the Botany Bay, implying that it was Khan's son. Also, someone mentioned earlier in another deleted scene, it was going to be written as his nephew, but the scene got deleted. The crewman that Scotty brings up to the bridge. And Mr. Sci-Fi Fan says, I think he tasked me as from Moby Dick. Captain Ahab said it. His obsession with the well. I think some of his other lines of Star Trek 2 are allusions to Moby Dick 2.
IB Bot. he's gonna next week he'll be on his handle will be IB Bot.
Bot IB.
What,
I mean, I get the Star Trek is very weird. Here's a really weird thing. And I noticed this in the Wrath of Khan and in Insurrection and one of the other ones. They are always referring back to like 18th century and beyond literature.
Well, that's because it'll make sense to us watching it.
But why?
Well, if they were like every now and then they'll refer to like somebody from the 22nd century. But I mean, we don't know who that is because it's all make believe. So it's hard for us to. How many of you
have read Moby Dick?
I've never read a single book, so I can't raise my hand to anything.
PVT, have you read Moby Dick?
I have. Captain Ahab wanted to get Moby Dick, and he wouldn't stop until he did.
He was obsessed, right?
Yeah, and just like Khan is with Kirk.
That's the AI summary. But I'm saying, like, really read it, and like no lines from.
No,
what I'm saying
is, I haven't read it. No.
Most people have read an audiobook, watched a movie, had a general summary. Like
you watched the movie,
probably.
But you didn't read the book?
No.
The book is like...
Right, exactly. So nobody really read it unless you're...
The size of a miniature eggplant.
Love to read. Or you were in prison or something where you had nothing to do but read. But they always are referencing like Shakespeare, Moby Dick, and all these old writers that I don't think most of the people that watch Star Trek read. Like, they never mention Asimov. They don't mention anybody like... Why don't they mention George Lucas? Why don't they mention I
don't think they need to read though. I think it's just about trying to sound smart.
And I get that. But what I'm saying is, why are they not referencing other material beyond 18th century or 16th, 17th century literature?
Like Sheldon? Oh, Sheldon always says... String theory ain't shit.
Yeah, I mean, any other literature. I mean, I'm trying to think of an author from the modern
Hey,
day.
they can reference Sheldon because Big Bang Theory is Paramount Plus.
Right. I mean, even other Paramount Plus things. Hey, there used to be a show called Magnum PI, and he always said this. They don't ever mention, and that's what I'm saying, they don't ever mention anything modern day. Karen suggests that it's a copyright. Yeah, see, Mr. Sci-Fi says Gene Roddenberry modeled Kirk after Captain Horatio Hornblower, an 18th century British captain during the Napoleonic Wars. Look, man, ain't nobody
reading the big words. We giving you a shout out for reading those multisyllabics.
Right. I'm just saying nobody's really checking for 18th century British captains. And Gene Roddenberry is not writing any of these modern day shows anymore. So why don't they reference modern times?
Well, back in the 60s, what modern times was there?
Here's a great one.
Or are you talking about the newer movies?
Newer movies as well, even TV shows like Voyager. Doesn't mention Chuck Yeager when they're trying to break, Warp 10.
I think they did.
No, they mentioned Amelia Earhart because they found Amelia Earhart. But that's what I'm saying. They're not referencing any. They're not referencing
Neil Armstrong.
What's the dude in the wheelchair?
I was just thinking of that.
Oh, people think I'm smart because I talk like a robot.
Yes.
What's his name again? I can't think of it.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not mentioning Hawkins or anyone else. They're not mentioning Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Hawkins was in Next Generation.
Yeah, he was on
in
an
the
episode.
holograph.
Come on now.
Okay. I think they need to reference some more modern times the later these shows take place.
Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson wasn't big until like the last 10 years.
Okay, that's still...
Well, I mean, Voyager's like 30 years old.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
I mean, they could reference him on maybe they'll reference him on Starfleet Academy.
I don't know. I just think... Yes, I do remember Data playing poker with him. I guess I'm just thinking of like... Hawkins maybe wasn't a great one because he has been on TNG. All right, let's move on. Because I can't. My brain fog is not allowing me to.
It's daylight savings time, man.
It's not, dude. It's the brain fog. I've been running all day today.
Oh, okay.
Doing everything here, and realizing that I had to get. I was gonna hit you up earlier. What is your go-to for cables when you got to buy a new HDMI or USB-C? Anything like that. Hey, don't get me started on Section 31, Karen.
Well, I usually go with two brands. If I'm going to just buy them on Amazon, I'll go with like Cable Matters or Mono Cable.
Okay.
On Amazon.
I didn't know which ones. I went with Amazon Basics.
I mean, Amazon Basics is okay, but you got to try to get like the, like I think there's like this now 48 gigabyte HDMI cable.
Well, I needed an HDMI to DisplayPort is what I needed. And I thought I had adapters, but I think I turned them in when I turned in my equipment from Arizona. Either that or they're in a bag or somewhere. But I was just like, you know what? Let me just get some new cables. And I wanted them here today so I could do this today and be ready to go for the show. So I was just like, I'm going to get these two cables for $15. And then I ordered some adapters as well, just in case the cables didn't work. Because I got a bunch of like gold-plated HDMIs. I was like, just in case these don't work for whatever reason, I'll use the adapters on existing HDMI cables that I know work.
IB says using modern things that are too modern would make the shows too dated, like mentioning Monica Lewinsky or Pac-Man. What made you think of Monica Lewinsky? What do you got going on, IB?
Controversy. Controversy.
Well, even the mentioning of World War III is now kind of making things a little like when we think of Star Trek, for the most part, it's aligned with reality. Like up until the current times, it's aligned as much as possible. And then in the future, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. And we just pretend like, oh, it's going to be Star Trek.
I could tell you in the future, and what is it? 60, so that would be 30. So in 35 years, we will be making first contact. In 2060.
But we would have already been in World War III, like 10 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago?
No, we still got time. We got time to lose 6.3 billion people.
Yeah, because
I did watch that.
Certain events have to happen, otherwise it becomes more make believe, right? And that's been one of the strong points of Star Trek has always been it kind of aligned with reality. Like it was realistic and it was believable. But now if we get to a point, well, there's no eugenics wars, right? There's supposed to be this eugenics war in 1990. That never happened. So there's when things now start to fall apart, they might have to see, and this is where I think these reboots start to happen. And the reboots try to correct some of that, and say, oh, you know what? World War III actually doesn't happen until like 2097 or something. Or the eugenics wars, or they just write the eugenics wars out completely, or they just say, oh, it's something else that happened.
See, their concern with that is stupid. It took place, we already know it's a fictional show. So just have it be the eugenics war happened when the eugenics war happened. Whether or not in reality we go through a World War III, that's here nor there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, or we could just say, oh, it's multiverse, right? Don't try to put it in your world.
Let it go. Just say the eugenics war happened during this time period. That's it. And then go on writing the rest of the show. Don't try and align the show with the reality that we're living in.
But see, I think that's
timelines don't match up because
that's what has made Star Trek special. Right, but Star Trek is special because there's always been this hope, right? That Star Trek is our future.
But do we want Star Trek to be our future?
I mean, some people do.
Some people don't.
Who? You?
Some people don't.
Well, who? Name one.
Anyone.
Name a person that doesn't want.
There's multiple reasons why somebody may not want.
Yeah, but you can't just say something and not have one.
Okay.
You got to be able to name one person who doesn't want Star Trek to be our future.
The Pope.
Has he told you that? Anybody
of religious priesthood or hierarchy of priests, they don't want Star Trek to be our reality because it negates everything else that they've lived and believed in.
You're talking about like that the Earth has a dome around it?
No, that there's that God created the Earth and everything else.
Theology.
If Star Trek is our reality, that negates almost all religions that believe that there is one singular person or entity that walked the Earth and made everything else happen. Now, if Star Trek becomes our reality, I can almost guarantee you somebody is going to try and spin it. And right now, Catholicism is the only one that's really in a position to spin it and say, ha, we knew this was going to happen all along, because they have an entire country that is locked off, the Vatican, from anyone researching certain information. So if it turns out that there's alien life out there, they could say, we knew this because they've been here before. These are the ancient texts that we've had, blah, blah, blah. no, it's a secret. It's in held in secret vaults or whatever. We don't let the general public see this. All the other religions really don't have that capability, except for maybe I want to say Buddhism or Hinduism. They have.
I was listening to. I think I was listening to a 3-Eye Atlas podcast, and then when it ended, I just let it keep playing, and then it went into the next podcast, which was something about the possibility that Adam and Eve were actually aliens from another planet. That settled on
progenitors.
Earth. Yeah, progenitor types. That started the whole human race.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's things like the Tower of Babylon, where at one point everyone spoke the same language. There's all sorts of things that can point to if there are actual aliens or other intelligent life forms out there that visited Earth. It's very possible they progenerated. I don't know what the word is. That some of these things are alien based. As weird as it seems, hey, the pyramids may have been a landing site for alien ships, like at Stargate. You don't know. That's why I said there are some people that don't want Star Trek, Stargate, Star Wars to be our reality because it negates one of the fundamental things that people have, which is faith and a outside religion, not science.
I mean, I've never thought of it that way, that like if aliens are real, does that negate religion?
And that's why I'm watching DS9. I'm like, okay, they still believe in the gods, but their gods are actually beings that are still exist. They have the beings inside the wormhole. They're not.
Yeah, for them, there's no faith. They already know that they're real.
Yeah, those are just deities, which are life forms, which are basically the opposite of the paw race that to come in form. They're not. They see them as deities. But it's not a deity that is just not ever seen. There's no non-relevant or hard evidence for them. Like Christianity, you have things like the cloth. I forgot what it's called. The cloth that was laid over them. Outside of that, you just have a story that's written by people that was interpreted by other people and handed down and handed down and handed down. And a lot of people say, well, that's it. The religion was handed down. Okay, well, if you look at modern day science, you take 6 people, tell them one story, and they have them pass it down. That story is going to be changed ever so slightly, but it's going to be changed between 6 individual people in the course of 20 minutes. So if that story that you told them changed by the 6th iteration of it, think how that story changed from 500 BC or 600 or 1 B or AC on 2,000 years, basically. You're telling me that story didn't change? Then why do you have multiple religions then? Which one's right? Which one is the religion? Which one is true? So if the world all of a sudden has a Vulcan ship landing, ain't nobody's religion said nothing about no Vulcans landing and that there's some other species out there or anything of that nature. They just said we were put here, there's Adam and Eve, blah, blah, blah. What happens if Adam and Eve were really Vulcans?
So, based on that idea, do you think there has been visits and it's just being kept from everyday people?
Shroud of Turin.
Shroud of Turin. We don't have pointy ears.
Wait, you said what now? You don't do I?
No, so do you think that we have already encountered aliens, but the government or whoever, whoever our Section 31 is, they're keeping it a secret because they don't want to cause panic in the religious community?
I think if they did, I think they did it a long time ago, and I think it has to do with Catholicism and the Vatican.
Do you think aliens helped build the pyramids?
No, I think that was done by people because I want to say one of the rulers in Egypt was alive. Was alive at a point where somebody could go there and take their photograph. And one of the pyramids was being completed at the time of some building being made in the United States. They've shown how you can make the pyramid. I think, however, the original pyramid may have been idealized for something else. And sorry, not ideas. I think the original pyramid may have been made for a totally different reason. And then the idea got bastardized and turned into something else. And they just started popping up. Old dude was like, yo, if he got one, I need one and I need it bigger. Another dude ruling another area was like, oh no, his is bigger. I need two. Another area is like, oh no, he got two. I need three and I need them bigger than all of them.
Do you think Atlantis is in Antarctica and that's why it's so restricted?
No, I think Atlantis I think Antarctica is personally.
Why do you think Antarctica is so restricted?
Because of how much shit is actually buried in Antarctica.
I didn't know it was restricted.
So you can't really go do shit in Antarctica because
there's like a treaty between almost every country in the world that normal people just cannot go into Antarctica. So
if you've ever seen animations of how the what the hell was it? The cold snap that after the meteor hit. Little help would be helpful.
Oh, I was just reading IB's comment about the intelligence of past humans, which is true. And I think past humans were probably more motivated. This generation right now ain't motivated to do anything.
What is Ice Age? Thank you. Oh my God, finally. So during the Ice Age, when that happened, that was one of the places. So a lot of things are so buried underneath that ice cap, they don't want people going there and doing research because you can't regulate it. So right now, with parts of it dropping off due to global warming, which is a normal phase. It's not human, not necessarily human inspired, but it's part of the natural cycle of life of the planet.
Per Mgyx, he is now debunking climate change.
I'm not debunking climate change, but climate change is normal. Because again, at some point in time, you could walk from the two different continents because it was above water. And then the climate change happened then. There was no cars or anything then. There was no planes. There wasn't rockets. Yet somehow it still changed, warmed up in one area, got colder in another, and now you can't walk across because it got buried by the ocean. But that in itself, Antarctica has so much buried microbes. There are viruses there. I also was reading a 3-Eye Atlas thing, videos, and I came across something in Antarctica and one of the shells dropping off. And they drill these big holes. They're not big. I would say they're like 8 inches in diameter. And they drill them down like an oil rig. And they pull out core samples. Those core samples tell you what the water was like, what was in the water, what the ground was like, everything you would do like when you're just drilling for oil. So you can pull it out and you can look. And they've basically unlocked diseases that we've wiped out already. Like
stuff that was dormant.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, well, it's a dead, it's not polio. There was one that was a big one. They were like, oh, it's dead. It's been frozen. Well, they heated it up and added some water to it. That motherfucker woke up. It was just lying dormant there. So if you have everyone out there, they could literally unmask these viruses and pollens and everything else that were around back then that we have no protection from. Like our body didn't have those antibodies that were taking place back then. So if you release that into the air, unknowing it, yeah, you can pretty much kill everyone. You could also repopulate plants that have been dead for centuries. It's a plus and a minus. or you could just leave it as it is.
Karen said that was an episode of Watson 2 weeks ago. Wait, with the new show Watson with what's that?
Ricky.
The good what?
I call him Ricky from Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. What's his real name?
I don't remember. But
Captain Mgyx. Captain Mgyx.
Yes.
I got a question for IB to think about. There's this theory that because the Earth is so old, right? Maybe billions of years old.
I mean, it's old to us, but it's not old to the rest of the galaxy.
Yeah. Morris Chestnut. Yeah.
Thank you.
Was there another cycle of intelligent humans on Earth, that then died out because of, they went extinct or, resources, or maybe they messed up and created like some kind of particle collider and killed themselves.
I think they got wiped out by diseases that they, again, because this is not the first time the Earth went through a ice age.
Yeah.
You mean
It's
like
very
whole
likely that we
civilizations?
did have an intelligent species.
Like the Incas?
I mean, I'm talking about people as smart as us, maybe smarter, and they just went extinct. They just killed themselves or something, catastrophe killed them.
Yes, I believe so. You look at Aztec culture, they have entire villages and basically states, size of some small U.S. states, where everyone died all at the same time. And they're like, no, wasn't one of those, they died over a slow, short period. They're talking about these people died within like months. It could have been an ammonia gas cloud. They saw it in Eastern country, somewhere across the pond, where a volcano that didn't necessarily erupt, but it released gases that was heavier than air, would build up over time. And they had a storm that basically went by and it sucked the gas. I want to say it was sulfuric gas off the top of this mountain. And it basically literally just rolled down the mountain like an invisible wave of lava and wiped out an entire village.
I remember
in like
hearing
less than
something
an
like
hour.
that.
So I do think that we had intelligence life forms because, again, we built the pyramids. Yet there's no specs on how to build a pyramid. We can launch a spacecraft into space. Why has no one ever attempted to rebuild a pyramid?
Yeah, and I've heard people say that, like, engineering wise, we might not even build them today.
Okay, I'll put it to you this way. They didn't have bulldozers, backhoes, anything that of major construction
that we know of.
That we would have found it. It would have been buried, unless it's buried underneath the pyramid. And they think that a lot of people think that the pyramids are actually a diamond. Basically, the bottom is the same as the top. And all the equipment could be buried underneath there. Kind of like in Silo, how they have the drillers and they just left the drillers at the bottom when they drill the silos. They could have done something like that. But again, we would have detected any kind of metal equipment, things like that. But what I'm saying is this. Everyone that's fascinated with pyramids, from the United States to Russia to Asia to China, all these places, no one has ever gotten together to rebuild a pyramid ever with modern day equipment. You've had people build them like the size of a building, like maybe not even the size of a football stadium. But what I'm saying, and I'm not talking about the Luxor either. I'm talking grab dirt, not metal. Grab dirt. Pick out a spot of land that's as big as one of the normal pyramids and simply build it with modern day construction. Yet no one ever has.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like going back to the moon, right? Like we did it and then we just we got over it. And we're not interested in doing that again, I guess.
So a lot of people think that going to the moon was literally just a thing to help with the war efforts with the whole space race and trying to beat Russia.
Yeah.
Some people say that we got to the moon and we were told never to come back.
By Optimus Prime?
By something. A lot of people say that that's the case. We went to the moon and we were told not to come back. Because you do know that the side of the moon that we see is always facing Earth. So the dark side of the moon, no one's really ever gone to and landed on or explored. You've had satellites go around it, but you never see the pictures or anything like that. And that's why I'm like, okay, even if we didn't go back to the moon, why didn't we send a satellite or even the shuttle or anything anywhere close to it and take some high-res pictures? You know, mount some floodlights up there. Hey, Home Depot got them on sale this Black Friday. Kick some lights on and go, you know, show what's up, show what's around there. Hey, you know what? You don't want to do that? Launch one of the not Voyager, Discovery, or one of the Mars rovers.
Yeah.
Send a couple of those up there with some halogens on them and take some pictures. Show what's on the other side. But they won't even do that.
Just put some bright solar-powered lights on the moon. That way we can get some beacons. PVG, did we go to the moon? Did we land on the moon? Did Neil Armstrong walk on the moon? And did they make a phone call to Richard Nixon in real time from the moon to the White House? Before cell phones existed, did they make that phone call?
It's hard to say. With the computer that they had back then, if it did, it was luck.
But what does your gut tell you?
I want to say yeah.
Wow.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is I'm kind of leaning now towards it's so hard to believe that we lost the instruction manual of how to get to the moon. Like I've seen on a couple documentaries of actual NASA engineers that have said, yeah, we had it all and then we lost it and now we can't figure out how to get back to the moon. But I think it was, again, like you said about that space race, right? We just had to beat Russia and we fabricated the win.
I think it was more of, it was to beat Russia. And it's kind of like, it was all political. It's kind of like now. Like everyone in the country is saying, hey, fix the government, fix the budget, we need money. And someone else is saying, yeah, we don't really care. We're more concerned with this over here. And we're in power, so we're going to do what we want to do. Screw what you guys think we should do. We're going to do what we want to do instead. And you know what? We don't want to go back to the moon. We want to look into doing this so we could steal the money from overseas and get the oil and blah, blah, blah. We don't really care about advancements or science or what's on the moon or ever going back. We beat the Russians. That was enough to put a rock in their shoe. And we'll give you a little bit of money, but we're not going to push it the same way that we did before.
Well,
and I think that's where we fucked up.
Do you think if there were no other problems, right? If there were no other conflicts, even the craziest conflicts that are happening now, like if the whole world was just in harmony, people would say, oh, why aren't we going back to the moon? There's no problems on Earth. Can we just go to the moon now? So do you think having these problems on Earth is a good excuse not to have to try to go back to the moon?
Yeah, because the problems on Earth are all political. They're all power struggles.
Are they even
We're
real?
invading one country or we're protecting another country to protect our investment, which is our money maker. So yeah, we don't care about science. We think making our money is better. And if we take our money away from making more money, then we're not going to have any money. We don't care about going to science. Now, the messed up part about that is you don't know. You could be making more money by going to the moon. Because what happens if you find out, hey, you know what? The moon's been hit by so many meteors that didn't make it to Earth that have all these rare earth materials that we could be mining from the moon. But because we never gone back, we can't do that.
Tang was invented by going to the moon.
I miss Tang. I mean, I could kill some Tang. I remember that.
Oh, the orange
So was
stuff.
dehydrated ice cream.
Yeah. What do you think about this story? The Lieutenant Uhura secret Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry hid from Paramount. The fact that she was black, he didn't tell Paramount.
Wait, what now?
The character of Uhura wasn't in either the pilot. So there were two pilots of the original series.
Right.
The Pike one, called The Cage, and then there was another one, the first one with William Shatner, the first one with Kirk. I think it was called like Where No Man Has Gone Before or something like that.
Right.
But Uhura wasn't in either episode because NBC hadn't approved the show yet.
Right.
So after those two pilot episodes, NBC finally said, okay, we'll give you, we'll sign a contract and give you, you can do your seasons.
Wow.
Then Gene Roddenberry brought on Uhura because he said, he
I can
wanted
see that.
he wanted a black actress in there, but because of the conditions in Hollywood back then.
So that right there is a great example of what I was just talking about. The powers that be at Paramount, who hold all the power, said no, we don't want that.
Well, I think back then it was NBC.
So what?
It was NBC back then.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm calling it. You mean CBS?
No, NBC.
I heard that too, IB. IB says, wasn't Lieutenant Uhura and Gene having an affair? I heard Gene was...
I heard Gene had some issues.
He was a man whore. God.
He was. Gene is not the greatest dude out there, but at the same time, Gene had a vision. And I think, yes, because a lot of things changed with that. Gene knew the world needed a black actor on this TV because essentially all the other TV shows that had anything to do with space, whether it was somebody just mentioned it, the anthology show.
Babylon 5.
No, it was the one
Lost in
with
Space.
do not adjust your screen.
Space
Twilight
1999. Oh, Twilight Zone.
Yes, even the Twilight Zone. Any of those episodes that had anything to do with space, any movies that went out that were out there that had to do with space, none of them had a black actor. So I think Gene was where that, and you're essentially saying that black people never make it to the future. It's essentially what you're saying, but not coming out and saying. You're basically saying that black people, African Americans, are not smart enough even to be a janitor or to be the lowest position on a spacecraft. Gene was like, no, you need somebody out there. You need everyone out there. That picture shows it. You have a black guy, a white guy, and an Asian guy.
Hey, PVG, didn't you have, when you were younger, didn't you have a relationship with a set of twins?
I did.
How did that go?
It was okay.
Wait, did you go with twins, Basil? Twins.
No, not both at the same time. But they were twins. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty awesome. You know?
Yeah, sci-fi fan. Yeah, Outer Limits or Twilight Zone. None of them showed it. But I think Gene was aware that they needed representation. And I'm not talking about the new representation that we have now. I'm talking about modern day representation. Because he also changed other things on the show. Like in the original Cage, Spock had full emotions. Oh, Captain, look, it's so pretty.
You know,
And then-
these twins that I dated, one was
What the
Gene.
hell? How does that have to do with...
Well, I'm just answering what Cheap Scott was saying. One was Gene and one was Janet. And like Cheap Scott, how did you tell them apart? Well, Janet had a pink fingernail polish on, and Gene had a cock.
My name is Jeff.
And you didn't want me to say the F word.
Well, that's not the F word.
It's not a. That's a.
Anyway, I think Gene had an idea of representation. I watched that episode, by the way. That whole what is it? Boston Blue. I watched the pilot episode of that.
Yeah. Captain Burnham time travels to 2025 to be a cop in Boston. And she hooks up, well, not hooks up, but she partners up
Marky Mark's brother
with Donnie Wahlberg. So this is the spinoff to NYPD. What was it called? NYPD?
None of those.
What was the Tom Selleck show called?
It's Blue Bloods.
Yeah, Blue Bloods. Yeah.
Which is on the way to being a very long-standing
Oh
show.
man,
I
that
thought
show's
about
been
getting
around
into
for
it,
like 25 years.
and I was like, you know what? I'm better off finishing NCIS
Yeah.
and trying to catch up to that than anything else.
Yeah,
But
I watched the pilot. It was all right.
It was all right.
I just received a text from Crewman JVG. She says, "What's the twins thing?"
Uh-oh. You got some explaining to do.
Right.
Thanks, Chief Scott.
You got him in trouble.
Thank you, Chief Scott.
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow along with Captain Burnham in her latest conquest, she is on CBS on the new show Boston Blue. So it's in its first season. I think it's like 1 or 2 episodes in now. And, it's off to a good start. So we'll see how that goes.
I think that picture was slightly photoshopped.
Well, the picture itself was a real picture from the from the CBS page, but I added the fake, obviously the fake.
No,
headline.
I meant the picture that was from the CBS page. Because she looks,
Oh.
she's got a hint of Angela Bassett in that look. I'm like, that looks like Angela Bassett from.
Well,
back
she
in
is
the
getting
day.
old though. I mean, dang, she did The Walking Dead for several years, and then she
Yeah.
went on to Discovery. Donnie
Okay.
Wahlberg is old as dirt.
But still dancing with new kids. Even though all of them, man, it's how you know you're old. When your engineer's got to change your audio pitches because you don't have that voice anymore. Your choreographer's got to limit your steps. Instead of doing, the high leg pickups, you got to do like a quarter leg pickup. Because I watched the show with New Kids on the Block performing and New Edition, and they focused on Bobby Brown. I was like, oh, damn. Cocaine is a terrible drug. It was just like, man,
Cocaine.
these dudes are so old.
All right, let's do a quote.
I did have other questions, though, but I was going to bring up. I forgot to text them to you earlier.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's do
ready?
a quote.
I have the human's face, but inside I remain Klingon.
Easy one.
I have the human's face, but inside I remain Klingon.
I'll wait for the chat to catch up. Let's see what the chat says.
There it is.
Ashley Tyler.
I agree. Wasn't Worf.
Let's see what the answer is. I think Karen's right. Except I can't find my down button. Oh, I wish it wouldn't do that.
I have the human's face, but inside I remain Klingon.
Klingon.
I remain Volk.
Kapla.
All right, what's the next one?
My real name is a bit of a red directive in and of itself.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what Red Directive is.
My real name is a bit of a red directive in and of itself.
Who could it be?
Voch!
Who could it be now?
PVG?
Wait, who sings
I
that?
got nothing.
Man at Work.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
We might need to go to the chat for that one. Let's do it one more time and then I'll reveal.
My real name is a bit of a red directive in and of itself.
I'm trying to think of who's living without under a false name.
Holy cow. IB doesn't know.
Let me give a hint. The show is Discovery. So we've got a 2 for 2 on Discovery.
Saru.
Oh no, it's
Agent
the dude from Enterprise,
Agent Daniels.
But what's his name in Discovery?
I don't know, Agent Daniels.
Saru.
It's this guy.
Who are you really?
My real name is a bit of a red directive in and of itself.
Oh, that's his name, Daniels.
Well, that's his real name, Agent Daniels. But on the show, I think he's like Colbrick or something. Or
Oh shit, I don't know.
I think it starts with a K. That's what I'm
Kilimanjaro.
leaning towards. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, well, our thumbnail was kind of like a DS9 versus Voyager, and we were going to battle it out.
Battle.
But we might have to save that for next week because we're already burning through daylight. But let's do a couple trivias. Which series first depicted a Federation starship intentionally entering the atmosphere of a gas giant? And the answers are all going to be either Voyager or DS9.
Or neither.
Well, no. There's none that I don't think are neither. So I'm giving you a hint there.
I'm gonna go with DS9.
I'm going to go C.
IB is going A. Voyager, Season 4, Episode 7. Voyager intentionally enters a gas giant's atmosphere to evade alien scientists.
Good to know.
Which show depicted a main character assuming command of a captured enemy vessel? So really the answer is either going to be Voyager or DS9.
B.
You're going B?
I'll go B because it could be several.
I'm thinking of Defiant.
No, I'm thinking Gold Ducat when he captures the
Oh, and remember that
Warlord, but also Cisco, and then when they jack the Jim Hadar ship off that planet.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think back to Voyager. I don't remember them ever taking command of another ship.
That's the thing. Discovery did it, but I don't think.
Yeah, even Pike did it. Which series introduced an episode centered on a crossover between two distinct universes within the same timeline?
What?
Basically a mirror universe.
B.
Oh yeah, B.
Yeah. I don't think Voyager ever did a mirror universe.
That would have been interesting to see.
Which series was the first to show a Starfleet vessel using slipstream?
Voyager. B.
Yeah.
IB says Discovery. B. Which series first featured a Starfleet officer transformed into a non-corporeal life form?
Oh man.
So basically
A B.
an entity?
B.
I guess that would be B with Cisco.
Dex.
No, it's Chakotay's consciousness becomes disembodied. He becomes, I guess, he's alive still, but he has no body. I don't remember that episode.
I read that all of his native stuff was given to CBS by a con man, and it was all made up. I literally just read that article on like 3 different websites because I thought it was fake, and there were like 3 legit websites that were like, yeah, they got scammed by this dude that said, yes, this native religion does this and that, and they're going to use it for the show, and he got paid, and it was all
interesting.
fake.
That's awesome.
Which series, and it's either going to be Voyager or DS9, that's the hint, a Starfleet-sanctioned temporal investigation bureau?
I'm going to go A.
B.
Name that song.
Deep Space Nine. In the episode Trials and Tribulations, they had the temporal investigation officers that come to investigate their time travels when they went to help Kirk with the Tribbles.
That was one of my favorite episodes.
Okay. Well,
yeah, that was a good episode. That was some good CGI they did there to get them into those old scenes with the real Kirk.
That was yes, I will give it that. That was legit. I was like, wow, that's nice.
Because then they would just have like Cisco would just be standing in the background and Kirk would be talking to McCoy or something. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Which series was first to include a Starfleet officer suffering from rapid genetic evolution?
A.
Why?
Why?
Let's see if PVG knows.
I can't
because
think of
they broke the warp 10 barrier.
Tom Paris evolves after breaking warp 10.
Sci-Fi Ivy says there's 2 great temporal investigation Trek movies.
To check it out. Which series depicted a sentient hologram achieving full command authority on a Federation ship?
B.
Sentient.
Yeah, that was B.
Bitty bitty bum bum.
It's a unanimous B, the Doctor. EMH. So he was in command for a while. Last one. Which series featured an episode where a main character was duplicated through transporter malfunction? Ooh. You think it's Tuvix? Yeah, but that's not duplicated.
I want to say B.
I want to say B as well,
Tuvix.
because I don't remember that happening on DS9, but I'm not going to lie, it may not be that far into it.
What about that episode with Miles?
Ah, yeah, that is true, but
I already know.
one
the
of them
answer.
didn't live. Oh, shit. Well, then there you go. It was DS9.
O'Brien got duplicated by a transporter situation, I guess. And that was kind of a crazy episode. That was a good episode.
I'm telling you, Miles and Worf, they're in competition of who lived a harder life. It's Star Trek.
I guess there was one more. Which series introduced the concept of bioneural circuitry?
A.
A.
He got Rikerd.
Rikerd.
Oh, there is one last one. Which series depicted an episode involving organ transplantation between species?
B. Oh, B.
Yeah.
Voyager episode 1 or episode 5
Vidians.
season 1. The Vidians, yeah. That's messed up.
It is. All right, I have a question for y'all.
All right, back to your question.
I have a question. Serious question.
Serious business.
So the Vulcans detected the warp signal. They were a research vessel. They came to check the warp signature, realized humans faster than light travel. We got that. Two things, however. When Enterprise first gets there, they're battling the sphere. They blow the sphere up. The Borg transport over because their shields are down, but there's still debris and nanos on the sphere that was blown up.
That went to Earth.
So they, and as we've seen through the series, starships can detect weapons fire, leftover weapons fire. They get to a place where like, oh, we detect our sensors detect whatever particles are left over from weapons fire. I understand if the Vulcans didn't detect that, they weren't scanning. They altered course because they sensed a warp signature. But once they got to Earth, and even if they'd said, let's check the warp signature first, why didn't they be like, hey, we're detecting weapons fire in your atmosphere? 2, there's debris in your atmosphere that is not of this planet, that's not from here, it's otherworldly. 3, how long, if the Enterprise, I can't even say that because the first contact happened like almost, I'm going to say within 4 hours of them coming back. So, and the Enterprise just dealt with the Borg. Just found the Borg. Sorry. They just fought the Borg and won. So they didn't have time to clean up their mess and retrieve any of the Borg sphere. And they blew up their own deflector dish. So again, with a phaser. So again, why didn't the Vulcans detect that weapons fire and the debris from the Enterprise ship? And more importantly, why didn't they detect the Enterprise? Because the Enterprise is still there because they watched them make first contact. So where was the Enterprise at? And how come the Vulcans didn't detect the Enterprise ship?
For the same reason that you said it doesn't matter if World War III happens or not. But no, let me answer your question. Because the Enterprise E was way more advanced than any Vulcan ship back, when that Cochrane flight took place. So the Vulcans would possibly not be able to detect the Enterprise E.
I got that part. I figured that. But they would still detect the debris in the atmosphere. But
they should have detected a temporal anomaly.
No,
a tachyon surge. There probably should have been a.
If you can't detect a ship in orbit, you can't detect a temporal lobe, because those are two. That's way more advanced than detecting general weapons fire and general debris.
Well, yeah, they should have been. So you're right. They should have been able to detect the weapons exchange, the firing of when the Enterprise fired upon the Borg cube, and probably some residual transport.
Signatures, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And even if they moved the Enterprise E, let's say to behind the moon, you would still detect the trail that's left by the Enterprise going behind the moon.
Because what you're saying is if the Vulcans got there so quickly after the warp flight, they must have already been in the neighborhood.
They were. Right. They said they were in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they said it was a research vessel doing scans, and they diverted. They picked up the signal, they diverted to investigate it. So they're already out there looking for stuff. They're already actively scanning for the stuff because they didn't know if the warp signature was on the planet or elsewhere, whatever. They just detected a warp signature, and they came in scanning, came in hot, looking.
Think about how Are you yawning, man? Think about how the movie could have been different if, when the Borg sphere went back in time and entered the Earth's atmosphere, the Vulcans picked up some kind of signature because the Borg cube was probably giving off some vibe, and the Vulcans came and had an interaction with the Borg. Geez, that would have been crazy to try to work that into the plot. And the Borg
What's-
probably would have just messed them up. The Borg Queen.
Borg Vulcan. Wow.
What's crazier is the fact that there are still Borg. There's Borg on Earth
Ugh.
because they landed in the Arctic
Yeah.
because they find them in Enterprise or Enterprise.
Right.
Voyager.
In Enterprise, how many? There was only like a couple that came out of the cold, the freeze.
There was either 2 or 3.
There's probably more that are just scattered around the Earth.
Still frozen?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying. Now, here's the other thing: is this? I understand that the Enterprise, because they were in a temporal wake, got pulled into them. But my question is this: what about all those people that died during that exchange? Where I know I get they were there to make sure the major event took place, but there was a whole bunch of other people that died in that new timeline that didn't die before. So who's missing from from the current timeline from before this took place that possibly had somebody be like, oh, this is how you transport between galaxies now, or anything else? No one talks about the deaths. Like you had a incident, or I don't know if it was incident, Lieutenant Hawk.
Yeah.
The dude that's always on the CW shows and always in the Hallmark movies now. He gets Borgified.
Lieutenant Hawk, pursuit course, engaged.
Right. So I was gonna hit you up and be like, yo, your favorite scene is on Paramount Plus right now. Because Paramount Plus literally played every Star Trek movie yesterday. And in order. So Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, Surface Walk, all of those. Then once they got past Generation, they did TNGs. After TNGs, they went into the new Star Treks. They literally played every movie, and I was like, man, this would be dope if they redid this on like Thanksgiving, one of those days.
I'm trying to decide if a full Discovery rewatch makes sense before Academy starts.
I probably will.
Or will it be more important for me to get through DS9 because there's this potential that Cisco is somehow going to be part of the plot of Starfleet Academy Season 1.
Well, how far into DS9 are you?
I mean, I'm Season 5, Episode 12.
Let me see where I'm at real quick. Where's my Paramount
Because
Plus?
it's Starfleet Academy premieres on January 15th, which is about, it's a little over 2 months away.
Yeah, that's if it debuts then.
I mean, it's pretty much Paramount is saying it's on the trailer, it's on the advertisement they're doing.
All right, you're on which one now? Episode what? 12?
12.
Okay, I'm good. I'm on episode 22. Well, I'm on episode 23 now.
Anything new on President Archer?
Nothing new.
I don't want that show to take place. I really don't.
It's
Not unless it shows
Tachyon
how-
the Tachyon Pulse podcast did a thing today, but it wasn't really about Archer's show. Archer's show is being pitched outside of Secret Hideout or whatever they're called. So right now Secret Hideout still has the contract to make all Star Trek. But they're up for renegotiation, or like they're trying to get the new contract under this new takeover that just happened with Paramount. Now it's all Skydance. So the Archer thing is outside of Secret Hideout, which could happen, but the Tachyon Pulse podcast today said that it was either today or yesterday. He said that the Star Trek episodes under Alex Kurtzman cost too much. Like they're spending like $15 million an episode, which is a lot of money compared to what they used to spend. So he needs to cut the budget down by like a third before they'll even consider re-signing his contract.
Again, greed. Because I don't think it's the cost of the actors or the people doing the real work. I think it's the cost of all these executive producers and everything else that aren't really doing any real work on the shows other than giving ideas. This kind of goes to the whole content creator, not content creators, influencers. Because this exactly executive producers and all these other non-working peoples are basically just influencers. You're influencing the main guy to accept your idea of your plot line, which probably sucks because you don't make the show. Sorry, you don't watch the show. You're not in the ecosphere of the show, but you have a great idea and you're great at flapping your gums.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know the episodes, like if you look at, from Discovery onwards, right? Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds. I mean, those episodes have the quality. They have high Hollywood quality. The productions are really good. I mean, these shows look really good. They look way better than the shows of the 90s. And, they look better than the way Enterprise looked and DS9 and Voyager. Those look terrible because they were like 480p.
But you could see the progress of the quality, even all the way up to DS9.
Yeah.
You could see things were getting better.
Well, and plus they had good stories. And so you weren't so focused on
the video quality.
Yeah, the video quality was good.
They were good.
Yeah. It was good enough to where it wasn't like some crazy stuff. Like sometimes you'll see some crazy graphic, like some CGI that makes no sense on some of these new movies that come out. Oh, I'll have to think about this one movie I just watched. And it had really bad CGI. And I thought, it might have been this new show, Nashville 911.
I think I saw that. I do know I saw an explosion on the trailer for that.
Yes.
That I was like, that is horrible.
Looked really fake.
But here's the thing, though. That's not done by the major guy that's getting paid the most on that production. It's paid by one of the lowly digital people who aren't making millions of dollars. They may be making $85,000 a year, but they're also the guy that's sitting behind a computer for 15 hours programming that to happen. Those are the people that need to get paid. The guy that says, yeah, go ahead and put an explosion over there and make it go like this. That's the guy that's making millions a year or millions an episode. And all he said was, make an explosion, do this. And that's it.
So if the special effects quality was reduced back to kind of how it was with something like Enterprise, if they could save
TNG.
money.
If I understood right, Enterprise was the first Star Trek series to start using CGI. There was no models of the NX-01.
Yeah, sci-fi. I've watched. I think PVG. You mentioned Blake 7 before.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I watched one of Blake 7. It was horrible.
It was, yeah. Yeah, special effects wasn't nowhere near what they are now. But Enterprise was the first to use total CGI,
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, the CGI today is way better, but for whatever reason, it seems like it costs more.
I don't know if it's the computing power. I'm not really familiar with it.
I'm telling you,
it's probably licensing.
It could be licensing of the software.
Yeah, because everything it's like Adobe After Effects. You know, like corporate Hollywood version or something.
I get that, paying for a license to use the software. But that license is probably not millions of dollars.
If you look at the credits, all the CGI artists, I'm thinking, God, there's a shitload of them.
Yeah,
Nakatomi Chikimaki.
Yeah.
Here's what I would love to see. When they roll the credits, put the payroll next to each one. And you look at how much the creators, the VFX guys are making compared to the guy that's sitting in a chair that's getting paid the highest amount.
Well, yeah, the VFX guys themselves aren't going to be getting paid much, but I bet the company they work for is.
Oh, big time.
The boss, the owner of that company, is probably getting the fat check, and he's just paying his people minimum wage.
i.e., greed, and that's why we get shitty Star Trek shows.
All right.
So, if we had to vote for this Captain or this President Archer show, what's your vote? Yay or nay?
Is it going to be a movie or a
series?
Series?
Because I want to see what happens to his kids, and maybe they'll have a spinoff off of his kids.
PVG?
Yay.
I'm a nay.
What if they bring back Jolene Blaylock?
Put some money. Hey, you know what? Put some money into a Starfleet Academy, and you could bring that cast back. Like I said, you do that series of Academy, even if it's Star Trek shorts, 30-minute episodes, you can bring Jolene back, you can bring Archer back, and have those be individual story arcs within the Academy, like a class. Hey, yeah, you're going through in high school. You go through this like history. Oh, what part of it? Oh, we're doing Civil War. And the next month we're doing the Vietnam era. And after that, we're doing the Eastern conflict with the Middle East. Before that, we're doing something else. Have each one of those sections be one of the characters, President Archer's race, whatever, and have it be like a 3 or 4 episode arc. Put the money in there. Oh, what happened to those kids? You can have all of that stuff in there. You try and push a dedicated show on that one guy who's now 25 years older, I think, than when Enterprise came out. How are you going to DH him and not make it look like shit? I mean, it's a show about him.
Says even bad Trek is worth watching once.
Okay, you do a one-off show, and then you put up
Chief Scott must
vote.
be taking some goat weed. He's been past couple of weeks in the chat. He's been a little high on the testosterone.
No, I don't. Yeah, I get some Trek. Bad Trek is better than no Trek, but I'm saying you could. Everybody's saying that the new Academy is going to be too woke and everything else. I'm saying take your money that you're trying to bid for Archer and put it into Academy. Make Academy better.
It might be too late for that. That would have been good to make it better already.
They still have an opportunity. Season 2.
We're going to have to see.
Yeah, season 2 is already a lock, so they're going to be making it. And then you still got Strange New World season 4 and 5.
Hey, you know what? Here's a way you can really save a whole lot of money. Do it like an audio drama, like Con. You have all the actors that are there. Have them do voice acting instead of real acting. You cut the whole cost of VFX out of it completely. So if that's a big money maker or a big money dump for doing a series, take it out. Now you're just doing audio and the actors and good writing. Make it an audio drama and see how well that does. And then you determine whether or not it's worth doing a show.
I think the
You're
audio drama.
You're gonna still have to get a younger cast unless you premise this show as a whole lot of flashbacks with showing Archer. And
Young
then
Archer.
have older Archer, kind of like, hey, I'm going to tell you a story about this. And have him do a whole lot of voiceovers of my kids did this and that, and then show the kids. Kind of like Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon, how Sheldon voices over his younger self. Because you can't do a show with Archer, showing Archer 20 years later, but visually showing Archer now.
Arthur.
He's full of gray hair.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And the plot line of President Archer is what, 4 or 5 years after he ends Enterprise?
I guess at the end of the day, it's just about making the Star Trek versus not making it. You know,
Make an audio drama. I'd rather have that.
With something like Archer, I want to see like what his kids look like. I want to see what his wife looks like, and you know, does he have a daughter? I mean, we might want to see stuff. Chief Scott would want to see it.
What happened to his crew? You know, where did they do?
Yeah,
That's
they're doing a they do a
Do
podcast. Yeah.
Tripping.
That's why I said you could literally do Academy and have each main character start out with, hey, this is where Ensign Mayweather, he's with the Mayweather maneuver. This is what it is. And you could do a show with him. All these people are still available to do a class under Academy.
Yeah.
And you can age them up. Because you could literally
what's his name? Tucker, right? Tucker got pulled into Section 31 possibly, so Agent Daniels even might have saved him and brought him to the future.
All sorts of things that you could do
Yeah.
under
there's
Academy versus
a lot
trying
of
to do it
possibilities.
yourself.
All right. Well, next week we're going to have to jump into the DS9 versus Voyager. Because
Well,
we're
what was your premise of that?
we were just going to have a free form debate.
Like on what though? Like what?
Everything, anything. Who do you like better, Voyager versus DS9?
It's mixed because there's 7 of 9.
No, I know. It could have
But
taken the
there's-
whole episode on its own.
But then, Janeway sucks.
I'm going to agree with that.
But then you have the evolution of Cisco.
Right?
I like this story. PVG, PVG, have you watched either one of these shows?
He's heard of them.
Yeah. Is it new? I like Voyager. I like Voyager better. Not so much for Janeway. It's just they get to go places. Watching DS9 puts me to sleep because it's so the quality, picture quality.
It can,
I wish
and
they
it
would
can be so
remaster it.
slow.
It's a tough one, yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
look at
it
our
was.
subscribers
DS9 is very dark.
Wow.
right now. Oh, here we go. All right, guys. Something's
All
going
right.
on with the network connection here, so we're going to wrap it up. But we will come back next week and finish off this. Well, we'll get into this Voyager versus DS9 conversation, and we'll go, even if we have to go character by character, we will break it down and find out who reigns supreme between DS9 and Voyager. Closing thoughts real quick because we're losing our network.
I got none.
All right. He got nothing. Magix?
I want to see a Star Trek MASH series.
Yes. With Nurse Chapel.
Whatever, but I want to see I wonder if you could make a Star Trek kind of like MASH, how MASH was. And you set it during the Kittimer Accords and Wolf 359 and all the major battles because it's a mobile unit. I think having that would be kind of dope.
All right. Hey, thanks, IB. Thanks, Chief Scott, Karen, Crewman Sherry. Thank you guys for jumping in and keeping the conversation lively. We will catch you guys next Sunday. Stay tuned for some new shorts coming out this week. And
Not PVG shorts. We're talking about video shorts.
yeah,
will
catch
not
us on
be
TikTok.
showing the moose
I
knuckle
put
to
some
you.
funny little bits on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
But if you haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button and like the
share it
video.
to all your friends.
Yes. Peace out, everybody. Live long.
See ya. Ciao.
Deuces.